How's it going, guys? This is Holly with Grindworx, and happy Halloween! We are talking about Halloween knives today. It's been a couple years since I've done this, and I have to tell you, I have been just itching to do it ever since, because I love Halloween. It's one of my favorite holidays, and I really love showing you guys some of the most ridiculous, ghoulish, fantastical knives that we have on Grindworx. Because if you didn't know, on top of awesome quality budget EDC knives, we also kind of like to take a little walk on the dark side and mingle a little bit with some of the more forbidden fruit among knives, so to speak. You know what I'm talking about. So without further ado, these are my 5 picks for Halloween knives for this year. First off, I'm going to show you this Shadow Ops Gray Skull Fixed Blade. I chose this because to me it seems like the most Halloween-y, like horror movie status knife that you could possibly get. It's only around $20 right now on the site. It's 11 inches overall, and it has a 6-inch blade. This is a Tonto style blade. It has a hollow grind and this beautiful gray skull finish that you can see there. It has a polymer handle over a full tang. It is 10.12 ounces, so it's a hefty one. And it does come with this nylon belt sheath. Pretty basic, nothing super special. But you know what I was really surprised about when it comes to this knife? It is freaking comfortable. I couldn't believe how nicely, like with these choils and the way that these polymer scales have been milled, it has the perfect palm swell. Like, it just fits so well. This curvature, everything. I seriously, you've got to get this thing in your hand, because I don't think I've felt a fixed blade yet just kind of lock in like that. It's amazing. So it made me wonder legitimately, like, could this actually be, you know, a decent beater camping knife / survival knife? I don't know. It's $20. I have no idea what kind of quality we're looking at here. And I mean, I don't know what you do with all this extra stuff. Like, I don't know what this is for. Maybe to lock your index finger in. Don't know the reason for the holes. Let's see, it's partially serrated. Okay, there could be some use for that. It's got some good jimping on top, although, I don't know, it's kind of a reach for my thumb. Maybe not. That could work. And then I've seen a lot of fixed blade knives do this, and I don't really understand it. I think it's supposed to be a sawback, but it's not particularly sharp. Maybe it's not supposed to be. So, you know more about that than I do. You know, don't hesitate to shout out in the comments and instruct us on the function of this thing. We have a lanyard hole there on the bottom with some included paracord. Maybe that's a nice little added perk, but overall, I just think it's a ridiculous beast of a knife, and, you know, definitely something that a horror movie villain, I could see a horror movie villain carrying something like this, right? Next up, we have this interesting spring-assisted knife. This is called the Flaming Skeleton spring-assisted knife. It is a whopping $9. It's 7 3/4 inches overall with a 3 1/4 inch blade. This is a drop point style, hollow grind, black finish. Partial serrations there. Does have a thumb hole opener as well as a flipper. We've got an aluminum handle with stainless steel liners, 4.8 ounces. So, you know, sort of a average weight. And then we have a tip down deep carry pocket clip, because, you know, only the best for these Halloween knives. And then we've also got a lanyard hole on the pommel there. Guys, what the freak happened to the grind on this knife? I don't know what is going on here. I don't know if that was intentional or not. I feel like it wasn't. I mean, even the serrations are kind of janky. This one just makes me laugh so much. I mean, this design on the handle here looks like a skeleton is peering at you creepily through a hole in hell. Maybe. And then these claw marks, bloody claw marks, I think, on the blade. We've even got a repeat of the same pattern that's on the front, on the back side, but of course it's not painted to match. As far as practicality goes, I mean, the action is about what you would expect. It's easy to open. It doesn't absolutely fly open or anything like that. It's not impressive, but I mean, it'll maybe get the job done. I'm just going to move on. So I'm going to show you now the Boker Magnum Dia de los Muertos Framelock knife. Right around $25 on the site. It's 7 3/4 inches long with a 3 1/4 inch blade. 440 steel. That's a spear point, they're saying. Hollow grind. Sort of black-ish finish. As you saw, it's got a flipper opener. It does take a pretty strong wrist flick to get it open. I did try fiddling with the pivot a little bit to see if I could adjust that, and I just couldn't quite get the tension right. If I made it too loose, it opened well, but then there was a little too much play in the blade, so I'm not sure if that would be a consistent problem with these. It's got a stainless handle here with this really cool repeating skull design. It repeats over the handle, over the blade, on both sides, and on the back side of the handle. And I kind of like how it varies. It's the most detailed on the handle, a little less so on the blade, and the least on the back side of the handle. Thought that was super interesting. And I mean, if you're going to carry a knife that has this much detail on it, I feel like this is the way to do it. It's a uniform color. So to me, it doesn't necessarily look super busy. It's just kind of cool. We do have a tip down pocket clip here. It does not appear to be reversible. This is maybe the one true disappointment for me. This much detail everywhere else. I feel like they could have at least made the pocket clip look a little more custom. At least make a color match, because that shiny silver against this nice muted black, almost stonewash look. I don't know. It's not my favorite. It's also a Framelock. Don't often see Framelocks in this price range, and the action is actually feels pretty nice. Ignore the wrist flick, but otherwise, yeah, feels nice and smooth. So, couple complaints, but overall I think it's a sweet knife. And I kind of like the idea of the screws, a couple of the screws going through the eye sockets. Okay, next up. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce this. The Azan? Azan? I don't know. Azan Spider Lattice Spring Assisted Knife. This one is only $11. It's 8 inches overall with a 3 1/2 inch blade, 1045 steel. That looks kind of like a bayonet style to me. Black grind, black finish. It's got a flipper opener. And then we have this aluminum handle. This scale has some cool windows in it that, reveal this spectrum finished scale underneath it. Thought that was a pretty cool effect. 4.03 ounces, fairly lightweight, and a tip-up carry pocket clip, and another Framelock. I'm actually somewhat surprised by the action on this one. It's pretty fast, pretty strong. Yeah, very easy to engage that there. So interesting, kind of like the long, slender design. There's also some things that just absolutely kill me about this one. So here on the blade it says Arachnid Fever in like the most blasé font you could possibly use. Like if you're gonna name a knife Arachnid Fever, I mean, if Siri was a font, I feel like that is what she'd look like. Arachnid Fever. I feel like the other knives I see that are, in this vein, the font is always like just as overdone as the rest of the design. Shadow Ops. I look intense. I just think it's hilarious. So there you go. Maybe you're not into all the, gore and hellfire and stuff like that. You just want a pretty spectrum knife with a spider. There you go. Lastly, we're going to look at one that you may not have thought of as a Halloween knife, but hey, you don't always have to have something super ghoulish. Maybe you do something that just has a little hint of Halloween, like, the zombie green. This is a K-Bar Mini Dozier zombie hunting lockback knife. It is only $16.99 on the site right now. Let's see, 5 3/4 inches long with a 2 1/4 inch blade, so fairly compact. This is Oz 8A steel, drop point style, hollow grind, black finish. Nice thumb stud opener there, which can be reversed to the other side if you prefer to open left-handed. This is a Zytel handle, which is a nice, tough polymer material, but also very lightweight. I mean, this thing is only an ounce overall, so super minimal. And then it has this reversible pocket clip here. That's a tip-up style. And there's a lanyard hole, which got me thinking. maybe you do just the zombie vibe, and then you throw a gross bead on it. You know, this, what do they call this? This is a Schmuckatelli bead. It's pewter. I think it's called the twin heads or something like that. It's these two skulls that share an eye. You know, just something generally grotesque. You know, get yourself a paracord lanyard, throw that on there. There you go. Halloween knife, right? So that was my thinking. But then, you know, this is something that you wouldn't necessarily feel weird carrying the rest of the time. And this is legitimately a great knife. Has really nice action. Strong lock back there. I think I have reviewed the standard size Dozier before. This is the mini. So definitely little. Just barely big enough for my small hand. But it's got great texture in the handle, good grip. Got a little jimping there on the blade to help with the grip a little bit. Very comfortable. I really like the slight curve in the handle. A very simple but very functional design overall. So great little knife there if you don't feel like going this route. And, you know, I don't blame you. Not all of you have to be weird like me. So if I had to choose a favorite, man, part of me is saying that I should be practical and go with the K-bar, because honestly, it probably is the best knife on the table as far as quality and action and all of that goes. What kind of Halloween video would that be? I mean, I'm the one who plans a couple months in advance, like what I'm going to be, and I spend all this time putting together my costume. Just because I think it's hilarious, I think I'm going to have to go with janky grind. I think that's got to be my favorite one on the table this time, guys. We'll give the K-bar second place. How's that? All right, guys. That's my review of top 5 favorite Halloween knives this year. I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know like what your favorite thing is about Halloween and which of these Halloween knives you liked the most. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're the first to know when a new video drops. I will link these guys in the description below because I know you're just chomping at the bit to bite them. I mean, come on. But as always, please jump on Grindworx.com. We've got plenty of other crazy stuff like this. So you've got to go check it out. If you subscribe to our email, then every time there's a new video, new knife, or a knife sale, it'll come straight to your inbox. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Happy Halloween. See you next time.